So, welcome back, everybody. We are back with the third section of the podcast, which gonna cover sort of very recent event as uh, just like 2 days ago, I think on Thursday, a NASA land rover landed on the Mars, and we thought it could be a great opportunity to talk a little bit about such topic. And yes, on the planet Mars, not on the goddess or gods or whatever. So yeah, and still Patrick and Dome is here.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everyone. Yeah.
Welcome back. And we're just getting more and more active when we're crushing it to the night. So keep with us. Stay with us.
Yeah, we are quite amazed that you guys are still here and you're still listening to us and you're still watching us. So we believe.
Big applause.
Yeah. Adam, shall I? I waited for you as well. Thank you for being here as well. So I believe we should introduce our topic right now because it's quite huge. It's great. I believe this will come into in history books as well. This week. Sorry.
Yeah, because honestly speaking, we already got some twice, yeah.
Yeah, I believe we've mentioned, under Elon Musk, some Mars,
Yeah, also.
Of course.
But like,
Connected.
it's still like a step forward because even though we had some vehicles on the Mars, this is way bigger as this Land Rover are supposed to get back some kind of geometrical stones, just stones, Martian stones.
All
All right.
Which is huge in a sense that we can already examine the planet itself and
So
how
we're
is it.
getting the opportunity to get to know the planet better.
Yeah, exactly.
With latest technology as well. We have some
Yeah,
rovers up there.
and
of
also we
course.
can technically check out how is the inside of the planet is structured, and what is even more exciting is that we can check if like some kind of ancient cells are existing on the Mars or not, which could be like a first alien life in a sense if they existed, because this Land Rover supposed to also search for ancient cells, which if it finds, it will show that actually Mars once had life on it, which would be incredibly huge, I believe.
And as a matter of fact, I believe there's like a good chance for this actually. So that there was like previously something happening on that planet. I believe so because as a matter of fact, there's water, of course, in form of ice and ice caps.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? It's great to discover these things as well and to concentrate on these theories as well, that what happened previously. Of course, we learn from history, we live in the present, and we try to focus on the future every single time. But I believe it's great that we really concentrate on this theoretical stuff as well, than what could have happened earlier.
Yeah, of course, because thanks to this, we can actually plan our way to Mars way better, because if we understand the geological past of Mars, we can actually get a way better view on the current geological state of Mars, and with this we could build up the Mars base and Mars colonies way more thoughtfully.
So with more detail, of course, we will be more sure how to colonize the Mars. So Elon Musk is working so hard to get to his dream, and this is a step towards it.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Also, this land rover owns like a sort of helicopter device, which will show us some upper view on the Martian surface, which is also good for planning where we should land on the Mars, and also to see the mountains and valleys in this red planet, which is really important for planning the actual bases on this planet. And yep, the whole land rover situation will provide us details by 2030, which in a sense is really really great because like 2030 is not that far away. But if we think about Elon Musk's plan about the 2050 1 million people on Mars, it's not that helpful for that one. We already talked about in the previous podcast that how 1 million per people on Mars is just impossible.
Yeah, check that out, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And so this this land rover will provide information for us by 2030 because that's the time when it will got back from the Martian surface. This is when it will got back to Earth, or like around that. It means that it means that we can start the launching the first people to Mars later, obviously, because just after we understood all this stuff, when it is possible.
We will have to examine these when it gets back.
And that takes time, obviously. Especially is that even though the focus on space discovery is starts to be huge again, but of course, thanks to the pandemic and thanks to the global crisis we are in, it's not in the main focus. And it does not get that big of governmental support.
And unfortunately, it's reasonable.
Yeah, of course of course it is reasonable. It just also slows down the productions. Moreover, it's still a problem that scientists as well cannot get together in a lot of places. So they have to work. There's a thing that's so called distanting lab, which is like the scientists can work in labs with robots from their home, which is pretty cool, but of course still not the same production.
Imagine working with Zoom.
Yeah, on the scientific stuff, I believe it's almost impossible. You really need that physical sense. You really need the physical touch. That your partner is standing next to you, and that interaction is going way faster, way quicker. The communication is easier, in a lab when you're physically next to your partner.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. And unfortunately, this pandemic really fucks up every single section of I believe science, because of course right now healthcare and biology really concentrates on solving this pandemic and coming out with some vaccine against it. But on the other hand, it really interrupts all the discoveries, considering astronomy, considering geography, considering any kind of scientific sector of like in the system. And it sucks because I believe it's really important to focus on sciences even right now, because of how would you ever know that if there's space is huge.
Yeah.
It's like almost, I'm not sure if it's like limited or unlimited, but I believe there
For the human mind, it's
for the human
unlimited.
mind, it's unlimited.
It's, by the way, debated.
Yeah, it's
by-
debated
So
as well.
no one actually knows.
All right, so I'm not that stupid, right? So it's like, you know, because of you that there's a lot of opportunities out there that we haven't discovered yet. Who knows? You know, if there's something out there who could stop a pandemic, for example, as a substance or something, like a mineral in a rock, which actually can be used against something like a global virus or something, you know. So I believe this is why we really should concentrate on, you know, exploring, you know, the outer world in the universe, and concentrate on astronomy and pushing, you know, these sectors in the economy more and more, because in order to get somewhere, you know, because as we've all mentioned it before in previous podcasts as well, that unfortunately, you know, our world is going to be robbed as hell. Our world is gonna be empty, you know, considering minerals, considering, you know, oil, gold, considering like precious stones, considering any kind of stuff, food, supplements, stuff like that. And in order to catch up with our, you know, future, we really need to, you know, we need to like find something, because if we don't, we will become extinct, like, surely. And it's unfortunate, because we have the potential in humanity, you know, because I believe, known for now, like today, it is known that we are the only like kind that actually have the ability to become like immortal, and I believe it is great. It's like one of those. Yeah, it's great.
By the way, it's
You know that like the Kardashev scale, you know, there's a video, guys, about it. So if you want to check out, you really should. Yeah. So that, you know, shall I just like explain, or would you like to?
the Kardashev scale.
Yeah, I believe we should.
Just very quickly, if
Yeah, because it's in connection, you know, with Mars. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
this
it is, of
exploration,
course.
Because we are told, you know.
yeah, see, the Kardashev scale, it's just a scale that measures the level of a colonization, the development level of a colonization, according to how much energy they can use up. Meaning they can use the Type 1 civilization can use up all the energy of their planet, of their host planet. Type 2 all of the energy of their star and star system around that, and then going up to galactic and then universal. But like those are very very dreamy stuff. However, what is really interesting is that this Type 1 and Type 2 civilization is something that we are actually working on. Because we are very close to be a Type 1. By the way, we are Type 0, so yes, for the win. But we are very close because we sort of use up so much energy of the Earth. Especially renewables makes this a very high level on this scale.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
So
what we're missing is like using out catastrophes like natural disasters
And controlling them.
and controlling the weather. Yeah.
that would have a huge impact on humanity.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Or really, really cool.
And yeah, what is interesting with this whole Mars discovery, we're actually working on getting to a Type 1 and a Type 2 civilization, because as I've just said, a Type 2 civilization is when a civilization can use up all the energy of their star and of their star system,
And it's really futuristic.
but it's like it's like right in front of us. It's futuristic and right in front of us.
Yeah.
It-
That's the incredible thing of
Yeah.
the whole thing. Whole part of it.
Yeah, exactly, because it's you know, it seems an imaginary stuff, like it could be a written fiction by an author, but it's not. It's real, because as we're developing, by the time 2050, we will actually get to Mars if we stick with this development
we
trait.
actually got to Mars.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, exactly. And we got to know so much about this red planet that it's incredible, I believe. And this landing makes it just enormous, I would say. Um, Also, what is, I believe, really, really great is that humanity didn't stop discovering, and that's very important, because discovering what actually gets humans further in development. If we covered a lot of this in
Yeah.
our previous podcast about just historically speaking how this situation. And honestly, I believe that what just happened like 2 days ago is a discovery, or will be a discovery, which actually pushes science forward, and and that's just incredible that we live in this era and we hear this news. I think, like, except those who work on it cannot even process the weight of this news.
And the best part that whatever will happen there will has a great impact on us. So we will know more of it, and whatever we find, it will lead us to a better tomorrow, to better opportunities that we can get out of this. So if we find something promising on Mars, then it's great. So we can send there also people and start the colonization. And if we find it
Useless.
completely useless, completely blank, then okay, we will find a way to use it, but still the knowledge will help us to get through it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And all this situation is just that the knowledge of the scientist and what we are getting can actually get to common people, which is also, I believe, really cool, because thanks to this social media and internet era we are living in, this is not just something that scientists can deal with. This is something you can read. You can actually read all the papers that are coming, and later on, what this device will discover, you will actually see it on all in the internet, and that's incredible in a sense that later on, more people will be interested in such topics, and maybe even more people will work in such topics because they find really cool articles, really cool videos or podcasts about them.
All that.
And if people start to be excited, then they start to care more, and maybe even somebody will work in it, and that's
And
amazing.
of course, so if somebody is interested, then he or she will talk about it, and if somebody is talking about it, then others will also find it interesting,
Yeah,
fascinating. So this will broaden the whole community of it. So every single people will help the Earth getting to having more scientists and working on it.
Yeah, and I think that will also fasten up the whole process. So it's not just that we actually getting there, but we actually getting there faster and faster every year, faster and faster, because more and more people work on it. And also, even though we've mentioned how nowadays, of course, it's not in first focus, understandably, but it's like this pandemic situation, like hopefully will be solved, then governments and huge companies will see the possibility in it. And of course, we saw like Tesla or like Elon Musk already saw a huge possibility in it, or Jeff Bezos with Blue Origin. But I believe that we will see more of these, uh, thanks to thanks to the widespreadness and the amount of possibility that this can provide.
Yeah, I can agree with that to 100%. And of course, I believe you've mentioned Jeff Bezos as well and Elon Musk as
Yeah.
well, and I believe, yeah, of course, there are some opinions on this that I'm gonna throw in, some thoughts about this, but I believe to a certain extent this kind of competition between the two private companies is quite beneficial for the humanity right now, because they try to push harder and harder, in order to be more competitive in this sector, and in order to just like try to fully demolish the other one, so
Yeah.
they keep on racing against each other, and it's beneficial in a way that, because of this huge competition that is among these companies, these private companies, it eventually will cause a huge technological development, increasement in usage of technology, I believe. And this is quite good, because I believe we live again the space race, but in a more like friendly way. So it's not like between countries, and it's not during the Cold War,
Yeah.
and it's not like about who is going to destroy the other one, because at that time there
Yeah.
were some serious issues. Thank God for Kennedy, by the way. God bless America. God bless the president.
Yeah.
All right, I had to do that. I had to do that, so just to spice this podcast a little bit up, So.
Yeah, this is like really incredible to see how the space race actually shifted from countries to companies. Also scary, in a sense, because let's say Elon Musk gets to the Mars first time, and then will Elon Musk privately own the part of Mars they discover, or will how big that part will be, or how it will be managed? Because like if you think about it, a private company, when buys something, they want to own it.
And
But
if
then
it's a planet, then
and yeah, like, and how much you own from it, like. Also, what about international law? Because, by the way, international law says that space is like no one's possession. No one possesses space.
Or everyone's property to a certain, like you said.
Yeah, or we could say that's the same thing from the other side. And then the question is up: what will happen with these huge private companies if they are actually the ones who can push it towards mass? What kind of how can governments and these companies get along together? Because it's a huge conflict. This is totally contradicting the two things. And then also the amount of resources there are on, for example, Mars. Who will own those resources? Who will get those resources?
I believe it will work just as it worked before in human history. Like, And it all started with our ancestors back before the ancient times, like, or with the ancient times,
Yeah.
you know, when, you know, the ancient man actually tried to, you know, hunt down animals and try to figure out what's fire and how does it work and stuff like that, because, you know, like, rich and poor existed in, like, the existence of word throughout history, every single minute, every single
Yeah.
second. It's with us. This social difference is with us, and it's not just because of that we actually we sort of, like, you know, consider things, you know, like more precious,
Yeah.
for instance, in today's world, which contributes, you know, to whether you are wealthy or not. It's money, which actually drives this, you know, this agenda right now. But back in those days, it was all about, you know, who had the most, you know, trees, who had the most, you know, like, raspberries, which were not harmful for your body, who had the more animals, who had more, you know, graphic, you know, stuff on your, you know, like, the wall of the caves and stuff like that, who had more women, stuff like that, you know. It made them back in those days richer than the other, you know, than the other social layers, and it was there as well, and it's there with us as well. So the fact is that I'm trying to say here is that when there's somebody who finds something which is an innovation, which is a great innovation in today's world, you know, like, for this era, for our generation, this will be Bitcoin. And it's true as fuck. Don't smile at me, you motherfucker, right there.
You know why I'm smiling at you,
Yeah,
you
I know,
motherfucker.
because there will be a podcast about Bitcoin, just mentioning that. Some of the secrets, yeah. So, like, for our generation, it is cryptocurrency. For our parents and grandparents' generation, it was gold and oil. Who had the opportunity to have more of these? In the end, throughout history, throughout time, they finally became wealthy. And those ones who will possess at first something on Mars, besides cryptocurrency and stuff like that, they will be the wealthy one. And it's all, and it's of course it builds up, because, you know, back in ancient times, who had the most rocks, then their children had the most trees, then their children who had more, you know, those parents who had most trees, then their children had the most like, for instance, iron and coal, then those parents who had, you know, the most iron and coal of the country or of the world, then their children literally had the most oil and most gold. And then moving on to cryptocurrency and stuff like that, you know, this is actually was like it was established back in ancient times. Definitely, you know, who sees the opportunity that time to believe in the innovation, to believe in new things, they've actually provided long future. It was like a huge future for the upcoming generations.
The funny thing, the difference is that when we are talking about when what Patrick was saying, this was for little parts of the earth. So just a tree, just some rocks, but now what we're talking about is a whole fucking planet.
And you know, it builds up throughout, you know, the time. This is what I'm trying to say here, that it really depended back on these days, that whether your father, you know, possessed some grams of gold, for instance, then you will have a great opportunity to, you know, turn that gold, turn that wealth into like other currencies, like cryptocurrency, or into like possessing a land on Mars, because you have the opportunity because of your wealth, which is actually which have been provided since the ancient times, because your ancestors literally believed that, oh shit, there's shit ton of trees, now I'm gonna possess them.
Yeah, just the problem is, I believe, it's very much
It's unfair.
Yeah, also what Thomas said is very true. Well, when I was talking about the whole planet, and when back then, it was a question of, like, okay, you can own a really, really big territory if you want to, and you can conquer a really big territory. However, because somebody lived next to you, somebody lived at your north, south, west, and east, there was a certain territory within you could increase your territory and your wealth. But if we're talking about the planets, no one is there yet. The first person and first people who go there, they don't have borders or barriers how much they can own from it.
Yeah, of course, I can
Because
agree with that.
they
Yeah,
have
of course,
nobody to
100%.
compete
Yeah,
with.
Yeah. I can agree with that to 100%. But just imagine, do we have something else? Do we have a new whole shit ton of structural stuff in our mind, like theoretically? Can we change this, which is happening right now here on Earth? Can we literally think about something else? Do we have a better structure than capitalism? Do we have better political structure like democracy or something like that? Do we have something better to provide for those who will actually firstly step on the land of Mars? Do we have something else theoretically? I'm not sure that we have right now.
We do not have.
And who will decide? That's the question.
What's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
like-
better?
So-
yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question.
Whoever gets there first, he or she will decide about its future, and that is responsibility.
Yeah. Well, also as we'll have to mention that, these companies not work alone themselves. So, like, for example, NASA and SpaceX is in a very close relation, and also NASA and Blue Origin is in very close relation. So, it's again, it's even more makes it a little bit more like ensuring that the situation can work out, because not just the private person will decide, but an elected government. However, on the other hand, if the company and the leaders of the company and the government collide, but they work together, that will cause incredible problems and arguments within this collaboration, which will obviously slow down our plans. And this again, even though seems to be a better option, and maybe I don't know if that's the better option, that the companies and the governments work together. Even this puts up huge questions and questions that how can they work out together.
Well, you don't have to know the answers.
Yeah, of course.
Just to calm you down, because so we are just looking at the facts right now and trying to imagine the possibility of the future, because we will experience its benefits on us, on the Earth, because it will have benefits. It will change the reality here, and it's incredible. So just thinking about it, what will happen if we and really nobody knows. That's the best part of it, that there are no facts right now, so we are just trying to collect the facts.
Yeah, because we actually don't have enough data in our hand.
Yeah.
And of course, lots of people work on it. By the way, I don't know if you know about it, but a lot of people work on how can a Martian society build up, how can the Martian law build up, and stuff like that. Like, there literally are jobs called Martian international lawyer, which is wow, yeah. And so yeah, we are working on it, but like, because we don't have enough information in our hands, we just cannot say anything for sure. What I believe we can say for sure is that humanity won't be stopped to discover other planets. I really believe that we will discover other planets.
I don't think so either, and I believe it really won't depend on the fact that whether this Marsh thingy, this Marsh project will be successful or not. I believe because we have discovered that the only way to keep humanity in life is A, concentrating on planet A, but on the other hand, in order to save this planet, we need resources from other planets as well. And this will be mandatory. This will be compulsory for science, because as we've mentioned it before, this world is going to our stores are going to be empty, considering everything. Our money is going to be useless. It won't have like a value. Our planet is going to be this green landscape. If we don't do stuff right now in order to prevent a global warming and stuff like that, this planet will die, unfortunately. We will run out of food eventually, we will run out of water eventually. So in order to keep this planet alive, in order to provide for the future generations, we are this is compulsory, this is mandatory to find something else out there, because I've mentioned it that this is the only way right now. We can go deeper into like, the earth. We need to think that the outside will provide something for us, and it's really important. So I really believe that even though this Martian project will end, of course, profitably or not, but if not, we really shouldn't just suck it up and just say that alright, we've tried, but that's that. We shouldn't do this. We should keep pushing forward, in order to get somewhere, in order to make up for the Kardashev scale. I really believe in that stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I have a thought which is totally arguable, but I believe that the Martian question is not the question of should we focus on planet A instead of planet B. It's actually the question of how will we build a planet A besides planet A.
It makes
because
a lot
I
of sense.
think it's
makes a lot of
not
sense.
B or A plan. Both are our main plans.
Yeah, of course.
And because also I think we didn't really cover in previous podcast, but not just the question of global warming is very tensioning, but also overpopulation. We don't talk about it so much, but overpopulation is a serious problem.
That will defeat the Earth. So
Like, yeah,
we will run out of food, and mostly not because of global warming, but because we eat all of it.
yeah. Like, can
And-
you imagine that right now in the world, 700 million people are starving? Statistically speaking, 700 million, meaning 1/7 of the Earth is starving right now, even, and our
And-
population is just rising, which meaning
Yeah.
this number will rise and not decrease.
And most people, so the workplaces are changing also. So less and less people work in the companies which provides us food. So
Yeah,
modern techniques well lead today, and these electronics will won't make us our hunger gone, of course.
yeah,
And we build cities on the places where in the past we grew food and well raised animals.
yeah. Also, really, really, a viral topic to this is that how we are cutting off our inhabitants and the inhabitants of animals to building cities. This actually threatening us, and not just the way that how do we interact with animals, but but with the way of pandemics, because the current global pandemic happens thanks to the fact that humans got into the nature of animals. And if we do it more of this will come. And
Nature is stronger than us.
yeah, exactly. And to this, even if even if it's like the long-term solution, but to this theoretically, the Martian colony could be a solution. Could be. Yeah, I'm not saying it will be. Yeah, we will see if it is, but it could be, because it's free of land, and also we will build the Martian society with the knowledge of our existing society, and of course we'll try to solve the already built the Martian colony without the problems of our societies as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe this really could be a long-term solution. Of course, who knows if there is a better, or this is something that humans just won't solve, because that can happen too. Hope not, but who knows. And yeah, I believe that people actually not really much interested in this topic, even though we talked about like how it's increasing, because it's increasing, but still I believe a small group of people is interested, thanks to the fact that the Martian colonies and the Martian colonization is a long-term solution, and people don't see it.
The results are more and more promising.
Yeah,
So of course, when you don't see any chance that that we could reach to the Mars, then why would you put effort in it to get to know more about it? That we have no chance. But when the situation is promising. When you can be optimistic about this, then of course you will be working with it and trying to get more knowledge about it.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And do you like start to shift towards the end of this section, or just some closing thoughts, maybe?
I think we can turn to closing it and turning to our next topic.
Yeah, actually we could, so it's okay.
Yeah, because like we don't want to like we already talked twice about this and don't want to get it too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though we could talk about this unlimitedly, and probably in the future we will talk about this, and this is also the beauty that we will live these discoveries and we can cover them in our podcast.
The funny thing that I remember mentioning in the previous video that there will be scientific new foundations so that we could talk about it in the next month, and it came out like a week.
Well,
Less than a week.
We were a little bit too pessimistic, actually. But yeah, it really was just a week ago, and now we are here with a huge step forward. And honestly, I'm really, really curious there what the future holds for us. And yeah, I think it is also good to just a little bit jump off this earth and dream about our sort of long-term goals. It can be really great, I believe so. And I think we are thanking for the attention again. But as well, we are still not at the end of the marathon, because we will have a last, more of an easygoing section where we will talk about hobbies and also career, we can say, development besides school. So how is it doing? How is it doing a constant thing besides school? And also we will see what else we will cover.
Of course.
It really will be an easygoing part, but stay tuned. And thank you guys that's still at 2 a.m.
And keep going, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So we will switch topic. Like if you listened to the whole marathon, then you can find out that we're trying to show you a variety of options.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's very different. There are many different topics in today's session.
Yeah.
To find your
best interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're not interested in something, then maybe we can show you something that will motivate you to get to know about it more.
Yeah, exactly. And also it's always good to like not have a fragile knowledge and interest, but being open-minded to stuff, and we will try to provide that openness, and I think then in approximately 5 to 10 minutes we will come back. This will be just a really fast toilet drinking whatever break. Drinking,
that's the spirit.
Yeah. So thank you guys, and see you in 5 to 10 minutes.
Thank you.